Hello, my hopefully sun-protected peeps. This is Kat, aka Kakibot, and this video is all about what Edinburgh is like in the month of June. If you are new to this channel and new to this series, this is a collection of monthly roundups of what there is to do and see and what the weather is like when you're visiting Edinburgh, or if you want to move here, if you really need like a real idea of what life here is like month by month. And what we usually start with is a little bit of info on weather and what the nature is doing. Let me start by saying that the seagulls are up to something. This might be their mating season because they are very loud in like the middle of the night. This is when they're getting it on. So be ready for that. I know that when my parents visited me here the first year here, 11 years ago, they were really shocked by how loud they are. So if you have a flat, if you have a bedroom that like is the top floor or something like that, or you keep your windows open because it's warm, be prepared. Bring some earplugs because those seagulls, they do not care about you. In the world of flora, we are starting the fabulous hydrangea season. That's my favorite flower. I love seeing hydrangeas. I always get very excited about them and their blue purpley goodness. We also are seeing some roses finally opening up and smelling very sweet. And June was also quite a short season for elderflower. If you're a forager, then feel free to steal some elderflower from the parks. Maybe, because they really don't stick around for very long, so it's not like you're stealing the beautiful elderflowers from other people. Maybe from birds, because I imagine birds will want to eat them down the line, but you might want to make some syrup out of them instead, or maybe, like my grandpa used to do, deep fry them in batter. It's such a bizarre thing to do with flowers, but yeah, that's what he used to do. And I've heard from some people who also have their roots in Central Europe, like Germany and Austria, that they would do that too. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever heard about that. June usually brings temperatures around 15 to 20 degrees, unless it's the heat wave. Last month's heat wave was... in Scotland it was about 22, 23 degrees. Down in England it was more around 30, which is actually kind of surprising. In the past years when a heat wave came, it would usually be pretty similar in both Scotland and England. And I know that a lot of you will say like, that's no heat wave, 22 degrees or 30 degrees, that's nothing. But you just have to keep in mind that the British architecture is created to keep people toasty, not to cool people down. And of course the days are super long, the longest we get. The sun sets, I think, at its latest point at 10:20-ish, but of course that doesn't mean that at that point it's gonna be dark. It means that you still have like 90 minutes of twilight ahead of you. Therefore, if you want to take some shots, if you're a photographer or a videographer and you want to take advantage of that nice like soft morning light or that very flattering evening light, you will have to stay up for quite a long time. And I have to say, I'm not a fan of that. I usually go to bed at like 10:30. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to having some shorter days again. I think this is getting a bit extreme for me, but thankfully we are now beyond that hill, and now things are gonna get a bit more reasonable again. So now let's have a look at some of the B-roll I took in the month of June. Now, some things that you might be interested in seeing or attending. There's quite a bunch of them. I think that June is actually quite an event-heavy month. There are some festivals going on. It's kind of like the first harbingers of the festival season, one of them being the Free Festival in the Meadows. I actually noticed it by a total accident. I think that Simon was traveling and I just didn't have anything better to do, and it was a really pleasant evening, and I went there and I noticed that there's some like free music on and some street food available. And it was just, I think that it was really lucky that the weather was so nice during that weekend. I think that if it was rainy and like super windy, maybe it wouldn't seem like such a great event to attend. But it's free, so, you know, like, who are we to judge? Also, as a part of it, there was like a little fun fair. I'm not actually sure if it was a part of it, but coincidentally, there was also a fun fair going on in the Meadows, full of that amazing airbrush artwork. I loved it. Yeah, so if you're in Edinburgh with kids, have a look around if any fun fairs are coming around, because in the summer you usually get a couple. If you are an art fan, I think that one thing you need to check out in the month of June is the degree shows, which is basically like the final shows of students of the local art schools. I used to be a part of the degree show of Napier University, that would be in Merkiston, that's kind of close to Brunsfield Links and like the Brunsfield area. Or you can visit the slightly posher one and slightly more central one in the Edinburgh College of Art, that's close to the Meadows and kind of Tallcrossy. I believe both were free to attend, and they don't really fully overlap, but they both mostly happen in June. So yeah, if you'd like to know what the future artists have up their sleeves and done their portfolios, then go have a look at the Edinburgh degree shows. If you are more of a witchy kind of person, then obviously you should celebrate the summer solstice. I've seen people celebrating it on Portobello Beach by, you know, having bonfires there, and up Calton Hill by dancing semi-naked and again setting things on fire. That seems to be that's a running theme. Or you can enjoy it totally on your own. Just, you know, find yourself a little spot in one of the Edinburgh's many green places and
start a fire.
I mean, it would be the logical conclusion of what I was talking about, but don't start any fires, please. I believe that this year has been quite dry, and in the past, in the summer, you would actually see fires on not on Calton Hill, on Arthur Seat, like Holyrood Park, sometimes like spontaneously combusts, or at least that's the official version. Maybe someone was like smoking and then it unspontaneously combusted. But yeah, that is sometimes a thing that happens, so don't be alarmed. It's just global warming and we're all going to die. And obviously, let's not forget that this was the Pride month, and with that comes the Pride Parade. It starts at the Parliament building, you know, the one with the little hairdryers on it, and then it walks up Royal Mile, and I believe that it ends somewhere around Bristow Square, kind of in the Edinburgh University area. At the time when the parade was happening, we were actually shooting a different video, but I did have a friend take some footage for me, thank you Petra, and I'm gonna show you some of that now, and I don't know, it was just making me kind of emotional. I didn't even see the parade itself, but even after it, you see so many great kids and, you know, even like families with kids and young people and old people, and everyone seems so proud of their being and their like true identity. And I think it really like that does something to me on an emotional level, because, you know, 20 years ago we didn't have anything like that. And I don't think just in Czech Republic, but I'm pretty sure that even here there wasn't really much of that going on either. So I'm just so happy for these kids that they're gonna hopefully have a better time in these like formative years than we did. Yeah. Now, from proud teens to old queens, the Queen had her Jubilee, and let me tell you, Scotland did not care about it one bit. I think especially like if you're not British, or maybe if you're not Scottish, you might be curious about this. Like you might be curious, you might want to get like a feel of how Scotland feels about the royal family. My impression My impression is that Scottish people are not really royalists. I think that there were people who were celebrating, but I think that during the whole weekend I maybe saw like one household celebrating, which was honestly surprising to me. Like, I know that the attitudes are different from down in England, but it was quite different. And you know, like I'm a Johnny foreigner. I kind of, you know, I'm just kind of observing it from the outside at this point. But it was quite fascinating because especially the sort of run up to the Platinum Jubilee, like you would see it in all the supermarkets, and like, you know, M&S had, I don't know, corgi-shaped crumpets, I don't remember, but there was a lot going on, like coronation chicken sausages. Those I do remember. We had those, they were pretty good. But it just seemed like it would culminate in like this big sort of collective party, and instead I think that Scotland specifically just enjoyed their amazing 2 days off, and that was pretty much it. And one last thing, and this is something that always catches me by surprise almost every June, and that is the Edinburgh Taxi Outing, which is this charity event where you get 50 taxis that are covered in blow-up balloons and like Disney characters and other cartoon beasties, and they take special needs kids and drive them around Edinburgh, and the kids get like water balloons and water pistols, and they get to essentially attack like onlookers, which does sound pretty fun. They are also very loud, not the kids, the cars. So if you are not partaking in this in any way, in any active way, if you live alongside the route, you will kind of, you know, be woken up from your nap or distracted from your deep focus, because you will get 50 taxis just honking very loudly as they're continuing all the way to East Lothian, I believe. I think that they take the kids to East Lothian, and then there's like a fun sort of day full of activities for them. It's just one of those cute little loud Edinburgh things. Okay, so I think that's all the big things. I probably forgot something because, again, this is the time of the year when things are just happening. Like, I feel like things are happening all the time, and I am struggling to shoot enough, and whenever I'm shooting, I only find out that I'm missing something else that should be shot, and I also have a full-time job, so sometimes it's quite overwhelming. I hope you appreciate this anyway, even though I didn't shoot everything, but as you can see, I have activated my sort of Sherlock's network, and some friends were able to help me with this specific June vid. Okay, don't forget that there's a whole playlist of these. I think that at this point we are only missing July and September, so those are still coming up this year, but otherwise this playlist is almost finished. So if you are planning a trip to Edinburgh in any other month than July or September, then check it out. I'm gonna link it down in the doobly-doo, alongside some links, one of them being a link to my Etsy store. If you are a lover of Edinburgh, you will find some goodies that are Edinburgh flavored for your collection or for your jacket, because I make enamel pins, they're very cool. And also you can find all the links to my social media there. My Instagram is either kakibod for more of the artsy stuff or kakiblog for more of the photography stuff. And you can also find me on TikTok, where I also from time to time make a joke here at kakibot. Alrighty, that is truly it. Don't forget to let me know in the comments below if you've ever been to Edinburgh in June, and if you loved it or if you hated it, and if you are still willing to fight with me over if Edinburgh is a humid place in summer, because today it was 95% humidity. It's there, and you never believe me. I'm gonna post a graph here that shows the humidity, because I really have a beef with you over this. Okay, now that the beef is out of my system, I'm gonna log off, and I shall see you soon. Bye bye.